seventh inning stretch back with you. September baseball. Can the Mets hold on? Desperate. Mets fans, what do you think? Are they going to make it? Come on. The Giants making a push. The Rangers, Bochy, he's back at it. Schwarber gets to 50. We're here with you. Seventh inning stretch. We're back. Here we go. All right, we're live here, seventh inning stretch. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Joining us on Variety Sports Network, YouTube, the X, whatever it is from now on. Twitch, I think we're on now. You're joining us there with it. A lot going on in America tonight, but I want to talk some baseball tonight. Get everybody kind of, as we're about, 2.5 weeks away from playoff baseball, getting close to it, 3 weeks probably officially here. We're joining you here, seventh inning stretch. Be sure to leave some stuff in the comments if you got any plans at all on anything. Mr. Mays, I know you're Padres. Maybe getting to them. Aaron, if you're listening, your Mets. We'll start out with them as well. A lot to get into baseball. A lot of big games tonight going on as well. Chapman gave up his first hit since July to the A's. They lose today to the A's 5-4. Astros, they end up getting a W. A big win tonight in Toronto, 3-2. We'll get into that as well. Tigers are up 8-1 on the Yankees as we enter the ninth inning. So it looks like they're gonna get a win as well. We had some early games as well with the Mets losing 11-3. Giants, they followed the Diamondbacks as well. And that's where I want to start, is that NL wild card. And the Mets, what a rough stretch. A rough stretch we've been on. Just one of the worst records since June, when they had one of the best, right? June 12th, like one of the best records. Aaron, CP, I got to get you guys on here. I don't know what to say. The Giants are 2 games out. They lose today as well. The Reds are right there. See what they do today in San Diego. 16 games left now, I think it is. Not even 17. The Mets they're in trouble. And the Giants are making a move right now. So let's focus on the Mets real quick here. Logan Stone said something about this beforehand, like he thought the Mets were struggling. They missed some pieces. Then the deadline comes. They were one of the more active teams in Major League Baseball. Got the bullpen pieces and added Mullins as well. And right after, I would say most people were like, all right, let's go. Oh, this good fake football analysis. The young kids want it more than the old guys pitching-wise. I agree with that. I think he's on point with that. You're right. It's not happening right now with the old guys. And they're not getting the job done. And you're seeing that with the trades. Helsley, you're trading for Helsley, a 12.60 ERA. Are you kidding me? Mullins, you trade for him, you think he's going to be a big pickup. Batting 179, I think it was, I saw going into today. They just can't they're not getting enough out of those deadline deals that everybody thought that was going to take them over the top. We don't have the guys that can go along in the four. You don't. And Senga, who I'm assuming fake football analyst, you're a Mets fan, maybe not, but let me know either way. Appreciate you kind of tuning in here. Aaron, it's you. All right, then you know where I'm coming from. Sorry, logo threw me off there. What's going on, Dad, my friend? Are you guys gonna hold on, Aaron? You're up 2. What's happening right now? Falling apart. The Senga. I really thought Senga was gonna be a bigger part too, Aaron. Really thought that was gonna be a big part of it. Yes, FFA. You guys had the show tonight. I hope everything went well with you guys as well on the football side. There, my friend. Appreciate you joining the chat here as we talk a little baseball here on a Wednesday night. Did it Friday last week. Obviously, I knew football would be tough there. Chart. Shout out for your YouTube channel. I don't have that to that extent, that audience. But yeah, the Mets, if we kind of get back to them, they had that lead, though, in the, 5.5 games I feel like they had. What I have at the Mets, too. The Mets have also, they had there's a staggering 14 and a half games in the division. That is a brutal stretch. The biggest collapse of any team in any spot. The Phillies trailed the Mets by 5.5 through June 12th. So obviously a lot of baseball to be played at that point, but it shows you how good the Mets were in the first half. Come second half, just has regressed in the pitching, the starting pitching that I think it was, if you were realistic, it was always questionable with the ace guys that you had Obviously we talked about Senga. People had their questions about Holmes. I've always had my questions in Mania, and it seemed like it caught up to him a little bit this year. And then you make these big trades at the deadline, thinking that like your bullpen guys are going to come true, and the Mets just haven't been able to deliver in that regard whatsoever. Like I said, one of the worst records, 31-45 in your last 70. When you're getting compared to the Nationals, the Rockies, and we'll say the Twins in there, they've also had a brutal stretch here. That's tough. And so now they're only sitting at a 2-game lead over the Giants. At this point, the Giants, who I'll get into in just a minute, have made a little bit of a push here, which I was not expecting whatsoever. But the Giants two out, the Reds 2.5, and even the Diamondbacks 3.5. And how can you not say the Cardinals are even? I mean, they lost 2 in a row, but they're 4 out, so they're still there as well. So the Mets still have a lot of pressure going on. It looks like the Cubs and Padres are going to be safe there in the wild card. But if I'm a Mets fan, I mean, I'm guessing the past trauma is starting to set in a little bit. Like, oh gosh, here we go again. But last year you have the great comeback against the Brewers, but they just can't get over the top. And it seems like maybe even with the Soto pickup, the pitching obviously has come up a little short here in the second half of the season, and it's got to be disappointing. I have no idea when Mendoza is putting his tab back in. I've been. What are we doing? He hasn't managed well here, Aaron, down the stretch. If you miss the playoffs, he's got to. Is he out automatically? Just real quick, I'm on Mendoza. If you're here, Aaron, what do you think of that? And like I said, like NL East does not matter. Just hang on. Can you just hang on enough? They do own the tiebreaker over the Giants. That will probably make a little bit of difference as well as they kind of keep going on here. But man, what a big disappointment they have been, the Mets down the stretch here to finish the season. Even a plus 51 at the end of the year. Not a good total looking that way as well. I want to get into Schwarber a little bit though too. I know it's still NL East and Mets fans, but it's still 50 home runs, pretty cool. I think 33rd, 34th player to ever do that. One of a few players, like I said, to have 50 home runs, 120 RBIs, and 10 stolen bases. I think he's now the 10th guy to do that, I believe. I called it out earlier in the year, and Tyler, who does the podcast with me, said, "Hey, you should probably put this on a show or something." I haven't had the energy or passion to look back at it, but I think I said it back in like May. I was like, he kind of reminds me of the next David Ortiz, and that will continue to be my thought with him. Is the average, the average will be what it is, but the OPS, the slugging, the home runs will be there, and he does have a clutch gene a little bit, and so I wonder with Schwarber if this is the next chapter of a Hall of Fame career. Now, right now, I know that sounds a little crazy, but I would have thought the same thing of David Ortiz as well back in the day. So I just wonder. And Aaron, you're a hardcore baseball fan. You watch that division more than me, but I don't know. He just has that feeling to me a little bit, and he's a free agent this year. It seems to me him staying in Philly would make the most sense if I was Mr. Schwarber. We'll see what the Phillies offer him. Obviously, we'll even see what happens with all the talk going on labor wise. But I really believe that this is a big year for Schwarber, and I think it's something he could sustain as a DH role. There's no doubt about it, and that's what Big Papi was, and he made it to the Hall of Fame. And maybe we're talking about Schwarber making it to the Hall of Fame here shortly, which is kind of crazy to think about if we just go back 2-3 years ago. Like, yeah, he was a good power hitter, but he had these weaknesses. But he seems to have figured it out. And with him and Harper in that lineup, that's a tough lineup. You had Turner in there. We'll get into injuries in just a second as well. He'll be part of that topic. But I just wanted to get a little Schwarber, little mention in there. With obviously the Mets struggling, the Phillies taking a big lead, and he's a huge part of it. 50 bombs. Obviously, Alonso's been great as a first base for the Mets, RBIs wise. Been pretty clutch this year in situations, but Schwarber 50 home runs, pretty crazy when you look at that as a whole. With how he has how he's done this year, just pretty incredible. There's no doubt about it. You can't You cannot deny how great he has been. I did want to kind of, obviously, the bad part of baseball a little bit is the injuries. Injuries add up over time. There's been some big injuries over the last few weeks. Bichette went down. Santander goes down. Tucker goes down. Found a few. Luis Garcia that went down. Obviously, I just mentioned Trey Turner as well. Marte goes out. Ketel Marte goes out for the D-backs today. But those teams I mentioned earlier were playoff teams. Trevor McGill, Shelby Miller for the Brewers. They're obviously get swept by the Rangers, who I'm going to get into in a minute as well. You get some good news with Mackenzie Gore back for the Padres, but Seager out, Garcia, Simeon as well for the Rangers. So a lot of big injuries down the stretch here, no doubt about that. And I'll be curious how some of that takes place. And as we kind of talk about injuries and the wild card a little bit, it's hard for me not to mention the Giants and the Rangers. Let's head on the Giants first. Both these teams making massive runs. Massive run. I just talked about the Giants being 2 out in the NOS. Yeah, they might not win the division, but because of now this 50-game wild card spots, you can get there's a lot of spots for you to get in now. And so with the Rangers only being, I think, 2 out of the division, is that what I saw? Let me just double check with you guys listening here. 2.5 out right now. I think it might even be 2, and then a game out of the wild card now with the Mariners. There's a lot there between the Giants and Rangers, and the Giants have been really good. 13-5 the last game. Adames, 28 home runs, going to be the first Giant at 30 home runs since Barry Bonds. America, we'll see if that's a case. You have Gilbert getting, I don't know how to put it, choked out, I guess, by Chapman every time in the dugout. That's just what it comes across. So I mean, we'll keep this PG for this show. Like, I'm not sure what's going on there with it. But the Giants are playing good. What happened? Devers now, Adames heating up. He still only has like a 228 average. But the man's starting to hit bombs. Devers has picked it up a little bit. Chapman, obviously, they had that fight with was it Freeland? And Freeland, actually, to his credit, goes out and pitch 8th inning baseball the next time, only giving up 1 run. But the Giants really making a push. And so those Devers haters, are they getting a little back at it now with the Giants a little bit? I'm not sure where we're seeing that a little bit, America, where the Giants seem to be making a late season run. And shall I say kind of Bochy-esque, right? Like Bochy-esque when he was on the Giants, they make the late September run, and we're getting that again with the Rangers right now. Isn't this how they won a World Series? Like, they have all these young guys coming up. Jung's been able to hit a little bit. But like I said, Seager goes down probably for the year. It'd be cool to see DeGrom back in New York. I'd be curious how Mets fans, the reception that Mets fans give Big DeGrom on Friday night. But the Rangers looking mighty dangerous right now. Mighty dangerous. Even with Evaldi going out. And so, like, that Giants, if you're an early 2010s person, that Giants-Rangers magic kind of feels to be maybe real about 10 to 15 years later here. So we'll see if I'd like the Rangers' chances to make the playoffs. I mean, if I had to pick between those 3 teams, the Astros, the Rangers, and Mariners, what two teams are making the playoffs, I would say the Astros are probably out right now. The Hader injury, who he's been back this year, the Astros bullpen has not been good without him. They seem a little tired. Alvarez being out a whole year at some point maybe caught up to him. Those would be the 2 teams I'd go with right now. So I'd be curious what people think of that. But I would say that the Rangers are looking awfully dangerous, and the Giants, Bob Melvin, maybe a little magic, calling for his head. Multiple podcasts here. Shout out my friend Tyler McGurk. If you enjoyed Disneyland there. I would say that the Giants, I still have massive question about them moving forward. But Adames has come on late. Devers has come on late. You've had some teams, when you have 7 playoff spots, there's probably going to be a team that kind of maybe shrinks down the stretch, and that's kind of what's happening right now with it. And like I said, if we look at the standings right now, you would have the Astros, Mariners in the playoffs with the Blue Jays. Yankees, Red Sox in there as well, and you would still have the Tigers in the playoffs. In the NL, you would have the Phillies in the East, Mets winning the wild card right now, Brewers winning the NL Central, Cubs in the wild card, and you have the Dodgers and Padres in the wild card as well. So, 2 out of each division there in the NL, which is kind of fun to see. Only the AL Central would have one team, and the AL East would have one. Or no, excuse me, the AL Central will be the only team with one playoff spot, and that'd be the Tigers. So Guardians 3 out, Royals 3.5. Still a little time left, but that kind of gives you a little bit idea of what that playoff part might look a little bit. I don't believe you. I mean, Aaron, I'm a big. I think I picked the Astros actually to win the division at the beginning because I believed in their death. But I mean, come on, over a period of time, you see baseball, and maybe they get hot here, but still 2 weeks left. I could just see these teams pulling it out over them, and I don't know. Susie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, Susie. I could do it. Shout out Texas Tech. She got it. Remember we talked about it. Big deal for Susie. Maybe we could have her on one of these times on the podcast here shortly. But I got to go with those. I got to go with the Mariners and Rangers to kind of finish it out here. It's just the way I'm going to do it. I don't know. I don't see it another way. The other thing with the D-backs is like I don't know. Their offense always to me would be mind-boggling if I was a fan. I'd just be like super frustrated at moments with them over the years. Just one of those teams that I would. Why can't we have any pitching, or why can't we line it up? They made the World Series a few years back, I know, but I don't know. This is kind of how I feel if I was a Diamondbacks fan. I feel a little left to be had there a little bit. All right, I'm going to get into Diamond notes here a little bit. Here we go. Anthony Rizzo retires, first baseman for the Cubs. Back in the 104 years since they won one. Here's the final out.
Done it before. Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over, and the Cubs have finally won it all. 8-7-10.
Josh Edwards wasn't on, so I can play that over there, Aaron. I could do that little. Rizzo retires. It's kind of funny thinking about him. Just coming up with the Padres after I feel like he was traded somewhere in the minor leagues. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but the White Sox maybe. But even if he wasn't, kind of always known as a top prospect, he still had a hell of a career. Over 300 home runs. Nothing to, but he did have that feel if he was coming up like he might be that elite legend player, but he was still a solid player, no doubt about it. He calls it quits after a long career here. So shout out to Mr. Rizzo that retires, got the final out, and the Cubs won. Cubs win the World Series. A couple other things here with it. Brewers swept against the Rangers. Is there any way for us to be a little nervous at all? I still feel pretty confident with the Brewers as we enter that final part of the season here. But a lot going on in baseball here as we kind of ramp up the last month. I'll be with you every week here. Skeens gets over 200 Ks a day against the Orioles. Can't get the win. Obviously, the Pirates only score one run. Not enough for them to overcome as well. So he looks like he's on track to win a Cy Young. I don't believe there's any doubt about that whatsoever. I would be stunned if something else happened differently there with what I got my two guys in Sacramento now. My Kurtz, Langoliers, 30 home runs for my catcher. That's a hell of a season, people. Just saying. That is a hell of a season, no doubt about it. Is our loser of the week? I do that Fat Boy fadeaway. Should we throw out the Phillies, Karen? She's getting enough hate. Is that what it is? She get enough hate now? I don't think so. So that was kind of a funny thing from baseball this week as well. Let's make a little. Let's add a little. Maybe I'm going to do my flashback here in just a second. Here on seventh inning stretch, but like I said, Mets a big topic for me headed into the day. we talked about the Braves and we talked about the Braves and the Orioles maybe making a little bit comeback here. What Aaron's got here for me. Skeens is monitored. Dude, I know. Just stay healthy, right? Like, I mean, that's the idea. Just stay healthy. You're striking out. You'll have a whip of a strikeout rate of 12 almost every time. Special player. And the Pirates will have it. You know he will not be on the Pirates his whole career. That we know for sure, though. Sir, we even both probably agree on that easily. I was going to get into our flashback video of the week. Kind of, I don't know, kind of one of those things. So let's see where. Let's get the. Should we get back up here?
What a ride! The Cardinals are world champs in 2011.
Yep, we get a little back. Let's get to Big Cal here, kind of right around this time, over 30 years ago.
Batting averages, strikeouts, whips, and WARs, OPS, and ERA. But there's only one 21-31. A number so iconic, it is synonymous with a city. A number so large, it is practically unpassable.
When you play a game and you're in a position to hit in the middle of the order, there's a responsibility to show up and be counted on. And I think that's how I looked at it.
A number so important, it is said to have saved baseball itself. But it is not the only number that matters here.
Here is Cal Ripken.
May 1982 to start it all. 289 teammates to play with, to support, to lean on. 1,066 games where Baltimoreans set foot on Utah Street and relished in memorial moments. Over 76 million fans to pay witness. Getting out of bed 5,214 times.
And you get the point there with it. What a great video the Orioles put out there as well. About another minute left. I would go to their X page. You're able to finish it out. I thought that was well worth it here. Grind it out, people. Punctuality, it matters. It matters. Like I said, punctuality. I wasn't with you last Wednesday. I was not feeling good. Let's put it that way. I just couldn't make it. I could not make it. I was not going to give you the show you needed. I went on Friday. I'm glad I could be back this Wednesday. Tyler, I know, is in Disneyland right now. Hope he's having a good time out there on that Cars ride or whatever he's on right now. Hopefully we'll get him back. Maybe Edwards, Logan. We might move to a Friday. Then when playoff comes, I'm just going to do playoff reactions along the way. Aaron, I appreciate you getting in the comments, my man. Good luck to your Mets as they finish it out here, my friend. Good luck. And I look forward to next week. There's going to be a lot on the line, a lot of different things to get into here on 7th inning stretch. We're past the dog days, people. We've got 2 weeks left of baseball. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Peace.